Hey guys, it's Phoenix. Today I want to talk to you guys about my experiences with Minecraft 1.12 recently, in relation to how functions are working right now. So I've been playing around with functions in this large project. Of course, this is Pokemon Cobalt and Amethyst, the second iteration, and I'm also on the server right now, so I can demonstrate to you guys my experiences and what I think so far about how Minecraft is working in terms of large multiplayer projects and for people who are working in large teams. Now, I've spent the last half an hour or so messing around with functions, and I've tried to avoid command blocks. In fact, these are all empty, so I can get rid of these. This is just for the thumbnail. And I want to share with you my experiences so far. So I've been streaming this as well, and a lot of people have had their inputs, and I think the consensus is quite simple. If you're working in a large team, especially teams of about 10 to 20 people or even further than that, you're probably best off not using functions unless you're very much willing to learn how to use functions. Now let me switch over to the function screen right now so you guys can have a better look. Let me just maximize this. Here we go. So here I am on the server. So this is the files that are going to be filled up basically for this project. If I go into the data, enter functions, I already have two folders. Now, I'm not the only one who wants to have access to these files, of course. There are going to be a lot of other people who want to create redstone concepts. If they want to have access to these files, they will need access to the credentials to access these files. Now, whether or not you are willing to give other people authority to edit and manipulate files and move files around is entirely up to you. But I, for one, especially with movements around the team, people will be leaving, I'm going to be recruiting new people I might not necessarily trust. It's going to be a lot more stressful for them to be able to edit and control how the map behaves. If they want to test things out, they won't be able to do so. They'll have to send the files to you and you'll have to give them feedback in that way. That's very inefficient, of course. But if you don't want to have that inefficiency, you might be better off working with command blocks. So basically what I'm trying to say is if you have a lot of people collaborating to work on a project, you're going to have to make some changes. You're going to have to teach people, you're going to have to let them adapt. And if they're not willing to adapt, I don't think that's a big loss because functions are really hard to work with if you have a large project. The best way to go about this, if you haven't used this before, if you want to create functions, what you need to do is go right click and new directory. What you want to do is simply create anything you want. So let's just say you want to create new. And if you want to create a new function, you go right click, new file, and you go function, or the name of the function, MC function. Type enter, and you right click, view and edit. And that will allow you to edit the function. What makes this a very complicated process, just delete that. What makes this a very complicated process is that you have to create all the functions you want. So let's just go function ASDF. This is obviously not a correct command. But you save what you want, you close it, yes, if you're done with it, and now you've created a new function. What worries me is that the process is going to take a while for you to get used to. And for people who don't want to adapt to something this foreign to them, because everything from here on in is a completely new way to deal with commands in this world. But the benefits are so great, it's probably worth trying. But again, if you have a large collaboration on a project, it might be a little bit of a hassle for people to edit their commands. Now, I've been talking with my team, and Major Mushroom, one of the team members, actually suggested that they could create a command block concept in the world and then translate it when they're very confident with the methods that they've employed. That might take some time though. Again, you're going to have to come up with ways to try and deal with this because functions are obviously a lot better, but is it worth changing from commands to functions? Up to you to decide, and it's really factually based whether your map is worthwhile for this switch. So let me just delete this, I don't need it. That's basically how you're going to have to deal with things. Edit a lot of files, open files, close files, and then you want to link the files together. It's a completely new process, but again, up to you whether you guys want to make this change. So those are my thoughts for 1.12 so far, but to use functions in this capacity, it might take a bit longer than I initially thought to get used to. Let me know what you guys think, whether I've missed something or maybe you guys have some tips that I don't actually know right now. Thank you to the people who joined the live stream. Had a blast, as usual. Leave a like, subscribe for more creative content. Take care.